Test, test, 1, 2.
Hey, how are your eyes today? Mine are a little sore and sleepy.
Mine are doing ecstatic because they just came from outside where I shoveled everything. So
I know you shoveled like a boss. You destroyed that. Although you did leave a little bit of the ridge in the front, which bugs me, but
that's to keep out intruders.
keep me from leaving.
They see all these beautifully shoveled driveways, and then when they see like the one ridge in mine, they're like, "That's a bit of a hard target. I'm not sure if we can surmount that ridge. We better go to a easier place."
Cool. Well, I didn't pay for you to do that, so alright.
I will say it's like super. It's once I come in from shoveling, it's like, whoa, it's like extremely hot inside. What's going on? So that fixes the whole like, man, it's kind of chilly. Like go outside, shovel a whole lot of snow, 15 degrees. You'll feel great when you get back in.
I know how you get you actually like that, which is kind of impressive because that's not me.
I don't know.
Oh, they say they can hear you just fine.
All right, good deal. But yeah, I don't know. Shoveling snow just really does not seem like the worst chore in the world to me. It's outdoors, fresh air. It's getting a little bit of a workout for free. No need to travel to the gym. And it's crisp and frosty, and it's like scooping big, giant, fluffy piles of ice cream around. I don't know. There are worse fates than shoveling a little snow.
Oh, I can see the tower power back there, but the light isn't on. It just looks like some weird tube back there.
It's just a monolith back there, yeah. The humidifier in action.
Yeah, whatever. And I can see the deer back there too. Alrighty, that's fine.
The deer. Oh, the deer like statue guy. Yeah, he's hiding back there.
Yeah, I know. The next time I bring a real deer in, you're gonna be a little worried.
Yeah, that would be a cause for concern. Please do not bring live deer into the house. I will be.
I don't have to. They're out there. They'll probably come in on their own. I got bird seed.
What would be a scenario where you would have to bring a live deer into, like someone is forcing you at gunpoint, like you better bring that deer inside?
Santa. He's got a lot of them, Dave.
They're reindeer. That's different.
If Santa says it's really cold, and I'll be like, okay, I got the salt lick.
Reindeer are supposed to be like deer are designed to be out in the cold though. That's where they're happiest.
Well, you're the one who said it. I had to bring them in, so you had to create the scenario.
Well, I know you were saying that you don't have to. You're not being forced to, and I wondered under what circumstances would you be forced to?
Well, you're the one that cooked up the scenario there, so I had to add to it.
You created the scenario by implying the negative, which implied that the reverse was a possibility.
I don't know why you think bringing a deer inside is negative.
It would be like if I was.
I think that's racist.
No, it's not. It would be like if I was sitting here talking to you and I was like, well, I mean, I don't have to dynamite a hole in the driveway. No one's gonna make me do it. So.
Why do you think that's bad too?
Now you're just being dumb. You of course know that dynamiting a hole in the driveway is bad. And I'm implying that's like not even on the map of things that would be an option. So if I'm suddenly trying to explain real hard why I'm not going to do it, it's like, why did you even think it was a possibility to begin with? Why are we having to explain what everyone should already have been on the same page about?
I mean, now you're making it sound like a good idea. Now I want to bring a deer inside just to see what you do.
You can't.
Create the scenario.
You don't have access. You don't have access to deer.
I do.
No, you
have
don't.
You seen them run down the street? I do. Have you seen them run down the street?
Yeah, like 2 years ago. They're not in town anymore. They blew this popsicle stand. They got better.
I gotta tell you.
They got better places to forage.
There was a photo of them outside the town here. About 50 of them in the field.
I hate to break it to you, that's AI.
No.
Deer have been extinct for about 30 years, actually.
I gotta tell you, if it was AI, they would have taken a better photo of them. Closer up. Trust me. That was the boomer with the camera. I could tell.
They would have been like tap dancing or something.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. It would have been looking better. The boomer was like sticking out of their car, taking a photo off the side of the road with these deer. I can tell human versus AI sometimes.
Now I want to see like a third-party video of this boomer. I want the car to be in motion, like he's like deer. He just like jams the door open. Like half his body is dragging out in the snow as he like desperately grips the wheel in one fist and tries to aim his camera in the other. He snaps off like right before he goes into a telephone pole.
It's like that Wildflowers in Motion book. It's all just I love it. It's so nobody knows about it. It's so
Yeah,
underrated.
what
That
is
is the
that book,
funniest thing I've ever heard.
Wildflowers Photographed at High Velocity? Like, it's a, it's a whole book of that.
Yeah, yeah, and it goes into great detail about how to see them and like identify them. It's just a fucking blurry mess. Mama, why are you hiding on Twitch? You're like the only one on Twitch. Get over to the group.
Oh, it's our fault. We're streaming over there. He should be allowed to.
Yeah. Well, Twitch isn't our fault. We're just on here. Oh, wait, now he's over here. Okay, good. Yeah, hey, Mama, thanks for boosting our numbers for no reason.
Jim,
There.
Baba, he's here. He's everywhere. He's there.
It's pencil day. Alright, does the book come with a challenge to try to identify them all?
I don't know if it does come with that. We don't actually own that book, do we?
Oh, no. Oh, the Wildflowers. Oh, I meant in Preludes. Like, what? Oh, Wildflowers was a downloadable PDF. I don't know if they ever made a book. And actually, the idea is that you use the book to identify them all. So it's not really, there isn't really a challenge. It's like a guide. It's real. You can Google it, and there is like pictures and stuff. And yeah, it's a pencil day. I think we're gonna have a lot of pencil days because Vine 6 is hidden because we got spoilers. And I was working on it. I think yesterday or the day before. And Dave has to help me. Like, I'm color blocking stuff. And I have to stop and point to areas and be like, Dave is this character or something else. And he has to tell me if I'm right or wrong. It is just complicated.
Well, with all those kill gears jumping around, hopscotching next to each other, it can be pretty intimidating.
Yeah, and then you didn't put V's hand on, so that got fun.
There's always the fun wild card of like, oh, I've got to interpret what David meant here, and then it's like, David, did you forget a body part on a character on purpose or by mistake?
Yep. That's fun. But okay, so I'm working on Vine 6, and then I suddenly realized, wow, I don't have a swatch for Ralph, which is the wolf. He's the wolf guy that appears in Prelude briefly. And it's like, I have a drawing, so I had to pull that up, and now I have to stop and like color in Rolf on the side in his underwear to get back to Vine 6, which it will be needed. It's really important, and I'm definitely going to need that. But it's like a little side quest in the book. Like, hey, stop what you're doing. Color Rolf.
Stop what you're doing and color this guy in his underwear.
Yeah, I identified stuff in Prelude called Read and Comprehend. So yeah, but like the panel he's working on is so overlapping and crazy here. Like, to be fair, I thought for a minute you were referring to what he's been drawing here. Clothes burning lore here. Well, I will say, we are releasing Prelude on schedule here to the public for free before we release the book. But according to this comic, it looks like they've gotten past burning underwear and they've moved on to something else.
Well, I mean, the fire still exists, but the underwear is passed on to the next realm of its existence.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be burning books. I don't think these kids have access to books. Lilith would be appalled. Lilith would come up and do a PSA warning.
I think Lilith would freeze to death before she burned books.
Yeah, no, I just think Lilith would suddenly appear in this Prelude and be like, kids, don't. She'd do like a Smokey the Bear. Like, don't burn stuff. Do Grunts magazines count as books? No, that is smut. That's not literary anything. I don't even know if they're words. I think if there were too many words, Grun doesn't like it.
Like, he could probably filter words out of his experience if he really wanted to.
I think that's too much work and he's bored. He's probably a look at the pictures kind of guy. They ran out of underwear, so they've decided to burn a ninja. Let emerges from the ether to discourage book burning. Yeah, I do think it would just be really funny for him to a little PSA. It's like a panel kids.
Liz, you actually told me a story about books that terrified me a little bit the other day. About how teachers were reporting that kids were coming into school, and when the kids get handed a school book, the kids like try to like swipe the cover of the book like it's a tablet, like they don't understand.
That was not a story. That was a news article from the UK. I don't think it was on 2023, and it keeps popping back up.
What's a synonym for a news article? I'm just curious, real quick. Could you name one? Thank you for making my point. But anyways,
No, hey, no, you said story like I was just inventing something to tell you. It's like, no, this is a factual event. How about live event?
I didn't say that Liz
Recorded
came up with this.
event.
Liz came up with this tall tale about children swiping book covers. Boy, she came up with a yawn, a wild. No, I was.
Okay, so yeah, wait, the outsider's like, what? Okay, so according to this article, the kids who go to school are trying to swipe book covers, and the teacher's like, oh no, what have we done to society?
It was a mistake. Everything since the wheel was a terrible mistake. If it led us to this.
Screens are officially ruining everything.
It's like the idea that there's like pages inside that are made out of paper with words on it. It has not even occurred to these kids. They're just like, this tablet sucks. I hate this game.
No, I know. What's my high score? Charlotte's Web.
Where do I even go to buy a loot box?
How do I log in?
I think the saddest
How
part
do
of
I log
that,
into Charlotte's Web?
the saddest part of that story to me is not the idea that, oh, kids have too much screen time and their default is to assume that everything is a device or a tablet. Like, the saddest part is realizing not only has their childhood probably just been engulfed in mindless scrolling, but it makes me think that their parents have never sat down to read them a story. And that's really depressing, actually. It's like, I don't know, just because, like, for me, that's like a staple part of childhood, is like your parent sitting down, you know, with you in their lap, and then they crack open, like, a book, and then they read you a story. And it's kind of part of learning how to read is, like, seeing things coming from the inside of a book. Ooh, magical. So it's really weird to think that there might just be, like, obviously not, like, hashtag not all, but, like, a generation where a significant proportion of the kids, just, like, their parents are not reading anything to them at all.
Well, I gotta say, I don't want to think it's true, but the libraries are just not even getting books anymore. Like, I checked that book out for you from the library, and they just don't care when I return it.
They're like, whatever, no one wants this.
Yeah, no, really, it is. Like, hey, if this just never comes back, you know, it's cool. Don't even pay for this. We don't care. And if you don't bring it back, we're not buying a replacement. Cool. All right, thanks. It's really terrible.
Well, it's a good book, actually. When I'm done with it, if it continues to hold up the way it has been, I might be like, hey, library, how much would you charge for us to, like, thiefify this from you? How much is that?
Thiefify?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
they
that's
say it
why
sounds
that's why I'd be
odd.
actually asking, like, oh, is this available for
Asking?
purchase? And then if the answer is no, we'll return it, so that they can properly
okay.
throw it in a dumpster in 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes that the parents don't care to give storytell books or even coloring books. I don't know. I assume it's young kids. I don't. They didn't say the age. I didn't read the article. I just saw the headline. It was on a meme. What the meme was that headline, and then there was the Wall-E Pixar clip of, like, the space guy trying to open a manual by the tablet.
I've actually, like, played that meme. It goes, manual, give me the instructions, manual. He's trying to, like, call it by the name manual on the cover.
Manual.
Opens it up,
And
is
then
like,
the robot opens the
what do
page.
you know?
I bet the lame parents just turn on an automatic book for the kids to read bedtime now. I don't even know. I mean, I don't want to name names, but I've seen some people with kids, and those kids just played with screens the whole time. I've seen a couple families that just their screens all the time.
Parents just
Actually,
jam their
yeah.
kid into, like, an Oculus headset and blast Super Beast on repeat until the child just passes out. That's their childhood now.
Actually, it didn't. This was actually during, like, a family gathering where we could talk to each other and spend time with each other. And these kids are sitting there with screens in front of us. And I tried to talk to them, and they just didn't communicate back. Which, I mean, it's okay. They're quiet, kind of, but it's like, can they communicate? It's a little worrisome.
Kids these days. Kids these days.
Kids these days.
Ooh,
Kids
no.
don't get it.
Kids these days. Kids these days. Kids these days.
No. Are you the 90s? I gotta tell you, your song sounds like your song already sounds like you don't relate.
That's the whole crux of the song. It's making fun of me for thinking in terms of kids these days.
It's that the hey there, fellow kids. Hey there, fellow kids.
It's kind of like the opposite. Like, I think every old person is going to be on a journey, and they will have to choose the path of hello, my fellow kids, or kids these days. On one path, they try to return to the youth and cling to their younger days, and so they'll be like, I'm just like kids these days. I also skateboard. I also enjoy a Pokemon card, and they try to sort of like update themselves to remain a part of the youth, even though they don't really belong there anymore. And then the other flavor of grown up is like, well, kids these days are different for me, and therefore worse. So I'm going to have to forever be like kids these days. In my day. So that's like the two methods of aging relative to younger generations is either hello fellow kids or kids these days.
Firo says the real issue is that you need to teach your kids to be intelligent before you introduce them to lifestyle crutches that are out there. Yeah, we were talking last stream about some people didn't have a TV until they were like 10 years old around here, and they were happy. And then we talked about burying glass, and everyone here was like, yes, this is great. So I was like, oh. Now, again, to be fair, I'm, burying stuff as a kid is awesome. I'm just concerned about the damage of glass. But okay. Mammo says, can he link stuff? He made some stuff. Do you want to see some stuff?
Oh, I like stuff. Hold on.
Yeah, let's do some stuff.
Stuff break. Yeah, go ahead and share this
How
stuff.
How many links have you got, sir? It's another brick. Oh, it's another brick. All right. Here's some stuff. Do whatever you want, Dave.
Yeah, let me just open it up here.
Oh.
Picardo, yes. I know it is not Picardo. Picardo's like...
Oh, the challenge of technology.
That's alright, I got it.
I guess maybe the hope is that kids these days will be better with technology, but I don't really see how scrolling on a screen is making them... Oh, that's a good look.
Yeah, isn't it? Good job, man.
Oh, that's off of the V sticker pose, Dave.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's hot. That looks really accurate, too. That looks great. I wonder how much editing that took, because the arms look a little like there's a line worked on them. Looks well edited. What are you doing, Dave?
I'm just moving it down lower, so it's actually in the right spot. There we go.
Okay. For me, it looks like it's loading.
There we go.
That's gorgeous. That could be like a shirt design.
Yeah, this is a really nice memo. Thank you for sharing. We got this is the classic sort of a pumpkin carving Lilith and Nama duopoly sort of thing.
YouTube says noticing oxytocin off of this one. I don't know what that means.
Oxytocin?
Oxytocin?
Yeah, it's a neurochemical.
I don't know. Anyway, all right, we've adapted.
Oh, cool! It's the Nama Mace video game one. Oh, I like their the reversing the colors on their outfit. Do you see that?
Oh, it just flipped over. Ooh, that's neat. I'm not sure if that was on purpose for Mammo. The program did that.
Yeah, it's fun. I've never seen their outfit colors reversed like that though. Honestly, Mace's like fur ruffed thing. It looks like a robe now. Now it looks like super cozy. Oh, nice.
Do you want that?
Nama looks a little too at home with the rock and roll guitar. Sweet.
That is a good-looking guitar. Yeah, honestly, that image is one of ours that you
oh yeah, I think it's based
here.
off of some fan art. But
that was a fan art because I would never do Lilith like that. But Nama looks a lot better as the rocker. That is.
She's also the
That
violinist.
is so much better.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, okay. Tame Nama. That's a nice robe.
Yeah, cool stuff, man. Well, thank you for sharing.
Honestly, I kind of like that background, the music background of the Nama one a little better than the one you did, Dave. You should feel threatened by this.
No, I'm threatened by this. It's gonna take my lunch.
Lunch is in the fridge. You can have it later.
Yeah, that's one of the rewards I get. Or no, I'm gonna pretend it was like a demand. Like I negotiated for this benefit. I will shovel the driveway as long as I receive a lunch in return.
No, that was the cookies yesterday. Remember? That was what I told you. Was I would make you cookies yesterday if you shoveled the driveway. And then
That's
I
true.
completely forgot, and you were like, "What about my cookies?" So sad.
Well, they're good cookies. I gotta chime in and remind you about that if you forget.
I did. I'm sorry.
It's kind of fun. We have this dichotomy where I generally like cook all the meals and I cook all the healthy food stuff and try to make it taste good. But then you're the one that like actually comes in and like crafts the treats that are incredible, and also incidentally like fitting in my diet and being healthy and stuff. I can't believe these cookies actually like are approved in my diet. It's zany.
Well, like you do the basic healthy stuff, and then I come in with like kind of I do baked goods that you can have, and I do the duck, and I do some other stuff on the side here, and then I also keep track of everything so we have food. So like it does balance, but I feel like again I cannot do what you do, Dave. You have an art down, 'cause I've never had the motivation to do that much home cooking every day. That's nuts.
It's not even I don't know. It doesn't seem like I'm doing anything fancy at all. It just started with like, well, I can't afford to go out to eat. I'm gonna cook groceries, and then it's like, well, how do you cook groceries? It's like, I don't know. Make it go from cold to hot. There's a top of the stove, so my techniques all just basically evolved from put things into a skillet, sizzle it up. Don't make it burnt and black because that's not good. But also, if it's like meat or something, make sure it's not like raw, and then there you go. Just basically doing
Yeah.
that for years has
Yeah.
made me, I guess,
Okay.
pretty good at that.
But what and limits people, and me included, is the but then I gotta clean it. That's the kicker.
Yeah, that is the one downside of like delicious, nutritious home cooked meals is like then you have to clean up all the dishes afterwards.
Well, Happy Guy One says with kids is also the just stay out of my way. That's me. There's kids these days, fellow kids, and get out of here, kids. I'm at that point.
Kids these days, hello fellow kids, and then get off my porch or I'm going to do something that is unwise in my old age.
Yeah. Yeah, they're impressed. Memo's announced that Memo did those. Okay. Oh.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Way to do that on stream. Thank you.
What am I supposed to do? Like, be like, guys, I'm gonna cancel the stream really quick. Hold
You can mute.
on. All right, and the stream is back. Like, that's gonna be. They're gonna
Mute.
be wondering like, why did he rushedly cancel the stream, sounding very strained and strange, and then come back on stream like a minute later? What's going on there?
That's good. That's good.
It's good, guys. It's me, and there was no violence at all that transpired.
Well, except coming out of your face, you just imploded, like exploded there. Good job.
Obviously, I caught driveway disease. All that shoveling is catching up with me now.
You got some snow in your nose. That's confusing.
Yeah, I got some snow in my schnoz. Oh no! Oh
See?
no!
Do I have to go in there to save you?
Listen,
What did you do?
so I dropped a pencil, right? But it fell.
Okay.
It bounced in such a way that it fell outside my corner. And I have this camera set up with a cord that blocks me from escape. So, if you could be kind enough, without laughing at me, without making me feel bad, thank you very much. Laughing at me. It could happen to anyone. Pencils bounce, you know. They bounce. They hit the eraser side. You don't know what's going to happen.
No, I love that you have locked yourself in your corner, and then you've accidentally thrown things outside by a foot, and you can't get out of it now.
Listen, if I
You
really...
played yourself.
If I had to, like in a self-defense situation, right, I could get out of this corner. Oh boy, could I get out of this corner. Wow,
You could totally climb out.
You'd
No.
probably be impressed. You'd be amazed at how fast and how well I could get out of the corner. But this was really just a test of how much you love me, I think, is what we're going with. Can we go with that?
Oh, get the laughter. Laughter is payment. All right. For Prelude, do you draw the entire comic page on one sheet landscape, or is it like your normal process with the X markers? Okay. When we do Prelude, we do one big sheet landscape because this is just kind of minor drawing. The X marking the corners is if we do animation, because the point is with the X's, you want to line up the papers so everything lines up.
Also, I got like a prelude template. This marks like sort of the cutoff points where I don't want to draw much outside of there.
And he's got borders. When we do graphic novels with multiple panels and it's much more complicated, the panels are done on separate pages and then edited and composited as into one page on the computer. So there are different processes for like the way we do things. Somebody a weird crossover dream of Dreamkeepers and Cult of the Lamb. I have never seen Cult of the Lamb.
Oh, it's
but I don't
it's an
need to
indie game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I don't know what it's a game.
I gotta blow my nose. That sneeze was just the beginning. Just the beginning
Please,
of David falling
mute
apart
yourself.
live
Just
on stream.
mute yourself.
I
Mute
will.
yourself this time.
Watch this.
Thank you.
Did it work? Did you guys like
Yeah.
They don't even know. Yeah, I
No.
blew my nose.
Never
Mystery.
happened.
Yeah.
Except for all the stupid sniffles.
The neighbors are gonna think we have a normal marriage now. They hear my wife just screaming through the walls, "Mute yourself! Mute yourself!"
No, I had to go to the door during stream for some solicitor, and he thought I was playing a video game, and I'm like, I'm hosting a show. And he's like, oh, where is it? I'm like, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna make fun of you on there. And then I did. The floodgates have opened. No, muted. You don't know. Just sniffles at the end of it. Okay, so what have we decided that I could just suddenly put things and throw things in your corner while you work here and you can't leave or get rid of them?
What? No, why are we deciding that? That's not decided. Don't throw things in my corner.
It's like the zoo enrichment here. I need to give you something so you stay occupied and keep your mind fresh, you know, so I don't get bored back there.
No, I got all the enrichment I need with paper and pencil. It keeps me very busy.
I know it does. Wow. Apparently this is your screen time. Are you like yeah, no, actually I would like to compare, basically like so if I gave you a tablet here you'd like try to draw on it. But to be honest, in the college when they had tablets by the computers, kids were trying to draw on it and ruin them with pens.
Yeah, they immediately destroyed the tablet at a college.
I know. It's so ridiculous. And then the other thing too is I think what happened was you had to get the tablet pens from the desk because they get stolen, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And people just didn't know that, so they just brought a ballpoint pen and just started scratching them and leave marks on these tablets. And they're like, oh, and then they run away and leave them. So it's like, okay, cool. Good job. We're 19. We're at art college and we can't have nice things. Somebody using whiteout on a computer screen. I've never seen that. But again, these kids had to find ballpoint pens, so yeah. And really, it doesn't look like they were trying to vandalize them. It looked like, based on the marks, that they were honestly just trying to do that.
That was their best. That was their best try. They were doing their best.
So just to play with this a little more, why is it that on the graphic novel pages you do the panels on different pages? Because I remember on Volume 1 you were doing a lot of them all on one page.
Yeah, I think it's just because preludes were going to be a little more. They were always designed to be a little more straightforward, a little bit like less complex. Obviously, that's like sort of morphed over time. They're equivalent now, but the graphic novels, they were designed to be like. Because I thought, especially when I started, you do the art at a certain size, and then when they print it, they actually scale it down so you can get even more detail in when you do the art. So I just was like, yeah, so I'll do the art on normal paper, and then get it scaled down into the layout that I want, and there I go.
Well, I've seen on the graphic novels a couple times you've worked on a panel and you've been unhappy with where it looks and you want to redo it, so you just like switch to another page and do it again.
That is.
And I feel like if it was all one page like Prelude here, you'd be like, oh, I fucked myself. So.
Yeah, I guess part of it could be like, if you want to think of it like creative cowardice, where it's like, well, what if I make a mistake? Oh no. But it actually is it is kind of a nice feature in our graphic novel pipeline to be able to sort of like move the panels around and like change the size and the scale of the different panels here and there. Because sometimes when you see it on the page coming together, you're like, oh, this one should obviously be like the focal point. Normally there's not huge change between the thumbnail and like the final thing, but occasionally there is. I think the one that comes to mind the most is in volume 5 during the flashback scene with Igrath and Faye. In one of those pages there's a full body introductory sort of panel of Faye, and that in the final book is actually way bigger than the thumbnail called for. The thumbnail called for it just to be like another smallish panel similar in size to the others, but the art for that Faye pose came out like just really like, oh, this is really fun. This is like the memorable kind of visual from this sequence.
Oh, I know which one that is. I remember that one exactly.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. And so once I put it on the page, I was like, oh, this should have way more visual prominence, because when I'm scaling it down here, it just loses it. It just loses sort of like the wow factor. So not always, but sometimes there's enough versatility to like really make big changes in the layout even at a late stage.
This is better than creatively painting yourself in a corner. Another thing too is when you do the panels on another page, you actually make you draw outside what you're going to use a little bit on the edges, and then when you put them in the page, there's like a little bit of a bleed area you don't always use. I've seen that. So when I take the whole page and I'm coloring it, I can pull up your old drawings and look on the edge and figure out what most like I've got one where there's a little bit of Marvin on the edge of the page, and I have to figure out what is Marvin's body and what isn't. But when I open up the thumbnail, or not the thumbnail, with the line drawings in the scan, yeah, I can check and be like, it's Caesar, I got this. Not bother you about what the hell that is, because it's gotten to the point after a while here, when I have to ask you, is this Marvin's arm? You have a little trouble remembering because you're on the next project.
Yeah, it's also, what was I thinking?
Oh, what you're thinking. You're not thinking.
Me neither. Get into drawing mode, thoughts shut down a little bit. But I was also thinking that's another sort of motivation to sometimes do like the panel by panel technique, as opposed to the full page here, is when I'm doing the panel by panel techniques, like especially the first couple books, sometimes I would draw like way more than I really needed, and I realized I had to crop it in for the page layout. And so that's why I started doing the blue line sketch layouts first, is because I would actually like do the blue line sketch for the comic panels, scan that in, lay out the blue line sketches with all the word balloons, and then based on how I actually crop the panel borders and everything, that will tell me, it's like, okay, what do I really need to go in and finish with the pencils? And sometimes I'm pretty tight and accurate on what I'm drawing, so it doesn't change much of what I have to draw, but occasionally there'll be like, a big chunk of the panel that's not going to be on page, and so it's like, okay, well, now I know I don't have to render all of this background here, and so that winds up saving like a decent amount of time, so it just sort of makes it more efficient, I guess.
Yeah, I forget which book that was. I think that was one of your early ones. Volume 1 or Volume 2, you had to learn. Yeah, you had to learn that thing where if this isn't going to be seen, I don't need to draw, or like word balloons too. I don't have to like draw the entire background back here.
Yeah.
Which is tough because you want to do it. I know you.
The temptation is always to create more. But that needs to be toggled in with like, well, what is actually going to be like, what is actually, because the creation process, it really is sort of like, you have to close the circuit. Like, you generate something, but if you want to think of it that way, it's like not even really meaningfully created until it is enjoyed by fresh, new, different eyes. Like, until someone else can see it, and then it's like that's where the loop of creativity closes. That's where like the value is delivered, if you want to think of it that way. So it is worthwhile to be like, okay, well, I could doodle on this stuff forever, but if none of it ever like makes its way to any kind of like anything in the story that anyone can ever see, then am I really creating, or am I just like having a really fun hobby?
Well, I mean, but there's still sketchbooks and training and practice.
Oh yeah, but see, that's like there's an explicit purpose of that, which is to practice and train and develop my drawing skills. So hopefully what that does is, even though not all of the sketches always, get put into a book, the result of those sketches will show in how everything in the book is rendered, because it's hopefully rendered a little better.
I genuinely think that screens and drawing tablets and pen, like the digital art I see online, looks really good and sharp and polished.
Hmm.
But I genuinely think that a lot of artists don't do pencil and paper like you're doing right now. And I think pencil and paper is going to become very unusual in the future if the only way kids learn to draw is with like a screen, you know?
Yeah, I think we were even talking the other day because this winter storm came and a bunch of power
That's
got
why, oh man, that's why I'm bringing it up. Yeah.
like everyone's
Yeah,
like
go on.
power getting taken out, and you were saying, yeah, there's a lot of artists I'm looking at online. They're like, oh, the power's out. Now I can't draw anything. What am I gonna do? And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
what, the power's out? If the power's out for me, I'm like, yes, I don't gotta check emails. I can just draw. Or, I mean, I can also read because I like to read, but
No responsibilities, gotta draw. Yeah, until your lights go, well, until you can't see. And I remember, wait a minute. Weren't you pulling out LED candles during a blackout? You were just drawing to the candles. I remember we had that for a while.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
You totally do it again. You've got a problem with LED candles, sir. You like those a little too much.
Yeah, what's not to like about LED candles? Why is it a problem? It doesn't have a negative impact on my life. It's not interfering with my ability to achieve life goals. I could quit anytime I want.
No, you're terrible. Oh man. No, you waste batteries, sir.
What? I don't waste batteries. You waste batteries. What are you talking about? Battery waster? See, the key is if you're accused of something that's totally accurate, what you need to do is immediately attack the other person and accuse them of doing exactly what you are doing yourself. That's the best.
Regardless if it's true.
The best smokescreen is to accuse the other entity of what you yourself are doing. That's
And they'll be so busy backpedaling and be like, what the hell are you talking about? Trying to deal with your insanity.
and then by the end of the
They want to
conversation,
remember what they do. Yeah.
yeah, by the end of the interaction, all anybody's going to remember is that there was this huge conflict over whether or not Liz was wasting batteries.
And nobody remembers that Dave just took batteries out of the candles and left them places around the house for me to find.
Exactly, because
And then wondered why the candles weren't working.
well, I did my part.
Identifying the problem.
Yeah, I did my part, like identifying the problem, leaving clues and hints around, sort of like an interactive horror game. That's what it's like being married to me.
Oh, was that on the wedding certificate or the yeah, what is it? The contract, whatever that is. I
In the
forget what
middle
it's
of
called,
the kitchen
vows.
floor rest 3 AAA batteries. Press Y to inspect.
Oh, fuck.
And then you find out later in the game like what the batteries are from, and then you have to
Yeah.
figure out like where the new batteries are stored. And it's like in a scary part of the building, so you have to go into like where zombies or something are to get the new batteries, and then you fix the device, which will bring in enough light that you can see the door that you couldn't see before, and then that lets you get to the next stage of the game.
Yeah, you got this all worked out. Thank you.
I'm just trying to make life fun for you.
That's my enrichment.
This is yeah.
You
This
leave your
is
corner.
see most people had to pay $60 AAA game prices for this kind of fun experience. You just get to live it.
Cool. A classic no you defense. The David Lilly Files, Mystery by Candlelight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why it's good when you're in your corner on camera. No, this is like Five Nights at Freddy's. You're
What?
on camera. You're on camera in your corner, and we're keeping an eye on you. But if you get out, oh God, you're gonna do stuff. I gotta find it later.
Yeah, stuff like shovel the lawn. You're welcome. Or driveway.
No, I mean, like-
driveway's what I was shoveling.
Yeah,
There we
yeah,
go.
yeah. No, but I mean, like taking the batteries out of things and leaving them places for me to find.
Yeah. Again, small challenges, like small enrichment activities. That's what I bring to the table.
Terrible. Terrible. And then the other thing too is it's like I figure out what the problem is and then I get to play, do we have batteries? And I show you how to do it and you just refuse to fix it. You're just like, no. No, you do it. You fix my problem. I'll be in my corner. And then you reappear in your corner on camera and I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
got loose. And you look at me like, where are the candles?
Well, I feel like it's fair that I ask you to fix the candles if I occasionally clean the flame sensor in the furnace.
Oh, I see how you're taking a basic task and then acting like you're a hero. Even though these are two completely unrelated incidents from months ago, by the way.
They are. But notice how the furnace is working like a champ now. It's actually maintaining the temperature it's set at. This is incredible. Fantastic advancements in human to human are happening right before us.
Oh, I know. I was watching that tonight. No, but no, hey, I told you your reward. No, the cookies were your reward
My eternal
for.
reward.
Yeah, that's because they came earlier.
That's what
You
Jafar
know I
says right
said that
before he
earlier.
tries to stab Aladdin. What are you about to do to me?
I know. Remind you that you got lunch. You got lunch for doing the driveway. No, you got lunch for doing the fixing the furnace. Remember? No, hold on. Which one was it? You got cookies and lunch, and you did two things.
If I just keep you
They're
confused,
related.
I'm gonna get like so many lunches. This is fantastic.
No, you. Yeah, it's nice when there's absolutely no logic to arguments, so it just becomes that petty.
Yeah, usually. That's why it's sort of funny, like anytime you're in the wild, right? And then you can hear like in the grocery store or another aisle over couples having like the famous nothing fight. It's always like, I don't know, kind of almost endearing because you understand it's like, oh, it's not about what it's about. They're just like learning how to interact with people. They're learning how each other are. let's let's let them bounce off of each other and see if they can learn from the experience.
Somebody would like to buy a Prelude book is on Amazon or website Be As Bad From the Vine for. Thank you. Right now they're just on the website. Because with like we've been on Amazon, but honestly, Amazon has so many like they damage the books.
They take a cut of my money.
No, that's not why. Well, I mean,
Fuck
they
you,
do
Jeff
occasionally.
Bezos. Fuck
Jeff
you,
Bezos.
greedmonger.
Oh, I don't know what that is. Anyway, but yeah, if you go on the website, that's the best way to get books when we have sales.
Yep, dreamkeeperscomic.com. I don't even know if they're on sale right now or not. I know we had a pretty
I don't think they are.
incredible Black Friday sale, which should definitely be over. It's January.
You don't even know.
I don't know.
You don't even know.
I'll
I
check
heard
on it.
for a while. For a while, it wasn't. Surprise!
It's supposed to end when it ends.
Yeah.
I need my universe to run like a very autistically organized clock of sorts.
Well, I think we all do, honestly. That'd be nice. Except for daylight savings time.
Daylight savings time is a crime against humanity. If I could travel
I know
back in
that.
time, most people are like, I'd punch baby Hitler. It's like, no, I'd find whoever thought up daylight savings time, and I would Terminator his ass.
We decided that was Ben Franklin, so you would kill him for no reason, remember?
Oh yeah, and then it turns out it wasn't Ben Franklin, and I'm just a time criminal.
And they're sending people to kill you for killing Ben Franklin. It's like a game here.
Yeah, it's like time inception.
It's like a chain. Oh, somebody finished a love pinup
Oh, cool.
in Gampin, so that's fun. Cool. If you can, I don't know that program, but if you can show us here and it's not a Discord link, I don't know how Mammoth is Catbox, but if you can do that, Happy Guy 1 will show it here. Please be safe for work.
Yeah, if it's not safe for work, we're streaming everywhere. So we gotta be discreet.
It's everywhere!
It's everywhere. You know, actually, it might be an interesting. I wonder if anyone's ever done this idea for like an indie video game premise. It's actually that idea. Like, the game has all these historical figures and time periods. You are a time traveler, and you have to go and try to travel back in time and like kill or save the right character to achieve like a win condition in the present. And so every time you go back in time, you have to like, start with the basics. You kill Hitler, but then there's all these unintended consequences that you couldn't anticipate. And so you have to keep going back in time to like fix the fix. And it's like a problem-solving game of like, how exactly do you change the past in order to bring about a predictable future that you want? Because it keeps on being more difficult than you think.
As soon as you have a game that involves like historical, okay, got Happy Guy 1. If it's not safe for work but tasteful, it's very nice. But we can't show it on stream because we're on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter.
But he can share the link in the Picardo chat, and then other consenting adults may enjoy looking at it if they want to.
All right, yeah, that's fair. Thank you, but we can't do that on here. There's like a domino effect of oh no.
Yeah, and if there's people out there watching on Twitch or YouTube or whatever, and you're like, how come my chats don't come up on screen ever? It's because it's grabbing from the Picardo chat. So that is the place to go.
Yep, and that's why I go over there and read what I can to Dave. We got a dash everywhere. If you want Volume 5, that's available in the Dreamkeeper store. I believe that's a hardcover. We're doing hardcover from now on.
Yeah, it's just I just really like the format. They have more heft. They feel a little bit more permanent. I also like the larger size, especially for the graphic novels, because I feel like the art is getting so detailed and involved, and I think that the art is one of the main selling points of the whole thing. It's just like it's supposed to be very pretty and immersive to look at. So I think it made sense to step up into a larger format so we can really be like, you know what? What's one of the primary value offerings of this book series? Let's make sure to go with the format that really emphasizes and enables that to shine to its fullest.
Okay, which is code for you like book effects, and you couldn't help yourself.
Yes, I like book effects. No, I don't have a problem.
Mom!
Mom.
Sir.
That's right, I gotta remember. He's in his skeleton costume.
Happy Guy One says it's tasteful. I hope that's tasteful. That's a new one. Okay. You do that.
Tasteful. That's when it's like tasteful, but it's like a male character.
See, there's tasteful and there's tasteful, and that's two different things in the world. That's two different ratings.
Or maybe they're the same rating, but a different polarity.
Hey, thank you for not putting a whole bunch of clouds on this one. Those things drive me nuts.
Oh, I was going to, but the camera's looking
know.
down at the ground, so I can't quite get the clouds in the frame.
Oh, it's gonna be sand texture, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. But you know how good they look when they're done, though.
Ugh.
All those beautiful clouds floating up there. Mixing in and like adding subtleties to the different shades of starlight. You love that shit.
You
That's why
love
I
it.
married it.
Don't lie.
That's why I married it. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, can you do that in a full monarch?
You love it when I make the clouds. So many details.
Little curls.
Actually,
and
I wonder,
poofs.
can you do a Joker from Batman? I've never heard that one from you.
I don't know if I would be very hard pressed to come anywhere in the same ballpark as Mark Hamill, I think.
I know, I'm starting to think maybe it's kind of a little close to Monarch, but Monarch is a little nasal extreme. I wonder if Joker has a lot of like up and downs on the mood though, so.
He also
Still a lot
sometimes
of emotion
gets
there.
a little growly, like sometimes he's very happy, and then
Sometimes Batman makes him just a little angry.
So you are pretty close. I mean, it's no, I know, it's not anything to, I wouldn't pay for it, but
neither would I.
if we had to do like, no. But I wouldn't, if we had to do some sort of emergency voice thing, we could do it.
It's yeah. I don't know. Like
But
if I was like in an emergency and someone was like, gun to your head, do you think you could do that? And people understand what you're trying to imitate, maybe people would have like a bit of a chance of saving me, of guessing right and saving me from getting my head blown off. But I don't know. I have fun like doing goofy voices, but I also don't think it's at the same level as someone that actually professionally trains and has a whole lot of control over all the different nuance.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say like I have like e-celeb tier acting abilities, which is not like high acting abilities.
No. I don't even think that's professional. And honestly, I think you're better than Mr. Beast.
I don't know enough about Mr. I've never seen any of his stuff, to be honest. I saw his creepy smile and I was like, it's enough. That's enough of that.
That's what I'm saying is anything that comes out of that creepy smile. Nope. Too much of that. That's kind of like, that's the packaging. It's like, if that's the packaging, I don't want to eat what's inside that restaurant. I'm good. Like, I can just already tell from that chocolate that's not high quality. I don't need to open that to know what that is. That's I would rather eat dollar store. The dollar store chocolate with the Crispies in it is better than whatever he's got. He's got sawdust.
Well, the fact that he's literally trying to sell people, like children, food, it's a little Like,
I just assume there's bugs in it, frankly. Probably right.
there might not be,
Nah, I'm not gonna find out.
but it
Find
is.
out later.
I don't know. The packaging is like super brightly colored, and usually I associate brightly colored packaging with
Poison. Poison
yeah,
dart
just
frost.
sort of like time for the list
As-
of ingredients, and it's just like there's a QR code, and it's like the ingredients will not list on this packaging. There is no space. You must travel to a
I've
pocket
seen that.
dimension to begin to open the tome of ingredients that are contained in this morsel.
Download the PDF to get all the ingredients.
You must jack into the matrix. Your journey of reading all the ingredients begins today. If you read one word, 900 words per minute for 37 years, by the time you are 48, you will master the ingredients. But, you know, maybe it's really good for you. Doing perspective stuff like this is way easier when you've already got the blue line sketch perspective grid kind of in place. This is actually 2-point perspective, but it's like one of the points is a vertical. So most people assume that if you have a change in vertical orientation, it's automatically 3-point perspective, but sometimes you can get away with just 2-point, or even 1-point, really.
When you do characters in perspective, do you need to put down the perspective lines, or can you wing it by now?
It really depends. Usually, even like a handful of perspective lines is just going to help get the space kind of established in my mind, and then I can wing it from there. Especially if there's a crowd and like multiple characters, it does help to get the guidelines in place.
Yeah, Firo says it would be a long list because legally they would have listed every different insect within their product. No, actually, there are secret words to describe the insects that are in food.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
There are terms. There are terms for it to fool us, by the way.
They don't actually call them insects. So there's food that has insects in it.
It already exists. It is on the shelves, and we are eating it. It already has the insect. We are eating the bugs.
They just don't call it
bugs.
They just call it some other word in the ingredients to trick you. But it's bugs.
It is bugs. And actually, when you eat oatmeal, there is a percentage of bug in that naturally, just because they are legally allowed to have a percentage of bug in there because they get in the food. I don't know about non-traditional. Oh wait, non-traditional protein. I think you're spelling that wrong. Hold on. I don't know if that's one of. No, it's worse. There is a code for it. It sounds legit. It's like. No, I don't even remember what they are. It's different per... They wouldn't call it protein. There's a code. I don't remember which foods have it in. I heard something about the Tyson chicken maybe getting some of it.
I think also chitin. They'll label it sometimes as chitin, but that actually is that's not code. That's just that's what a bug shell is a chitin.
Well, when I mean code, it's a word that the Americans don't understand, so we're like, oh, what that is, and then we eat it. That sounds fine. Got people saying hi in YouTube. Hi.
Oh hey, hello back. I hope everyone is surviving their winter storm experience. Maybe it's.
I saw a great meme that's like winter storm. Florida's like it's rain. Florida gonna rain.
Yeah, I know I don't know what other people's experiences are like, but I know up here in Michigan they were like, oh my god, it's gonna be the storm of a lifetime, and it's cold, and I had to shovel the driveway, but I have seen colder and snowier winters than this in Michigan, so I'm not sure why they had to hype it up so big.
It's like wake me up when it's over 2 feet, because I just don't care. just the norm here. To be fair, I mean it's been kind of green last couple winters, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, so we've
Dawn.
had like a little stretch of mild winters, but I remember as a kid, like sometimes driving to high school, and you would just be on the highway, and it's like, you know what? I'm going to be going a lot slower because I have to sort of guess where the highway is. There's not really any visual way to determine where the road starts and stops. You know, we're in sort of like just a field of white with blowing white misty snow everywhere. But school's not canceled because this is a little too routine. So we're all just going to be sort of like the equivalent of like having your hand on the shoulder of the man in front of you going up a mountain. Like you're just, well, there's tail lights 50 feet in front of me, and those taillights are still moving, so I'm safe if I drive where they have driven. and that's how you get to school, you know.
That's Michigan. I need soup. Love me.
Oh, you're so nice. Liz is really considerately muting herself right now while she slurps soup. Because, oh my god, if you could actually hear this, it sounds like, it sounds nightmarish. Liz, thank you for sparing the chat your soup slurping adventures. Getting yourself a lunch. Lunch action. Yeah, that's the price of me shoveling the driveways. I failed to get us a lunch before the stream. Failed to provide lunch. You failed to provide your wife with a delicious lunch. Failed.
They cost us DoorDash, by the way. Which you hate.
Now you have acquired a DoorDash bill that will haunt you for the next 37 years.
I made you cookies.
You did make me cookies. They're good.
I don't get complaining until those are gone. That's the price.
Oh, complaining, like, until the cookies are gone, the complaining card is ineffective? It's ineffective. It's not very effective. Oh.
It never was. I just won't tell you this.
I know.
It's expired a long time ago.
Well, if you want less complaining, you could just be like, it's actually not very effective at all. So, obviously, you find some level of amusement in
I really do.
observing me dance around and suffer.
It really is, yeah. That's why it's funny when you cry.
It is a little bit.
You love it.
Yeah, I'm having a good time.
Well, you did actually fence yourself in. You idiot.
Yeah, see, there's like a webcam, and then there's a cord, and then the cord, it's like a little safety rope. It keeps me in place.
It's like half the space of your corner.
Sacrifices I make so that people can see me draw things on stream.
No, you're seriously at a zoo here. Look at this. I can just, like, there's a line to reach over.
Zoos usually have like this nice glass plate to keep people like you from touching.
You've got glass.
That's not for you. Don't tap on the glass. Do I have to tell you now? Do I have to tell you don't tap on the glass?
Don't sign, don't tap on the artist glass.
I shouldn't need a sign. I thought you were not one of those people that needed a sign, but apparently. Jesus was right. It's a corrupt generation that asks for a sign and don't tap the glass sign.
All right, and now for the debate.
Wait, we have a
If Dave
debate?
is drawing it, if Dave is drawing in the other room, will he ever know I'm going to eat lunch in bed?
No, don't eat inside of the bed. Don't do that. You're not doing that, right? You're just joking about it.
You didn't want me to eat Chipotle in the bathtub. I don't see what a problem is with that. I told somebody that, and they're like, "That is the best idea ever." I think you're jealous.
No, the bathtub is not for eating in. It's for bathing in. Do I have to explain?
is for relaxing with Chipotle. I'm very careful.
Wait, this has been going on behind my back the whole time?
No.
You've been eating Chipotle in the wrong locations? The wrong rooms of the house?
You'll never know. You're in your little exhibit.
Oh, I know.
That's what this is with the glass now, is the exhibit.
I've been cultivating agents who will tell me what is going on in various rooms of the house. As soon as I can figure out how to understand what they tell me, me and my squirrel army of spies will know all that transpires.
You know, I haven't seen them today, but the fact that they look through the windows looking at you is a little scary because they've tried a couple different windows.
Well, the fact is, if they're around and if they want some snacks, I know that they'll knock.
They do.
So,
They
they're not missing
do.
out. I think they're just hunkered down for the cold weather. I think they're just like basically snuggled up somewhere.
Fear wants to know if we're trying to get ants. I have to say no because I eat all the sushi, and also ants can't go in the bathtub, and I eat all the Chipotle, so there's never a problem.
That you guys, now is your chance to jump in and argue against my wife for me. Tell her that ants are bad, and tell her that ants can go inside of bathtubs too.
No, you.
No, I'm busy drawing. I can't argue this right now.
Logic defeated. No, you are.
I'm not prepared for this debate at this moment. I don't have my notes.
I know you're not.
I don't have all of my materials. I haven't
Your PowerPoint presentation.
I haven't really researched all of the different talking points and what the presets are, like the preset responses. And I feel like if I'm going to debate this please don't eat in the bathtub topic, this very hot, very important topic, I have to have a lot of prep work. Otherwise, I'm going to let my side of the argument down. All of the anti-bathtub eater people are going to be like, I can't believe David did such a terrible showing in that debate. He made us all look like fools, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to let them down.
No, I think I need to see a graph.
A graph? Yeah, see, I don't even have my graphs ready.
And maybe a whitewash board. Whitewash board.
I need so many visual materials. I need a bunch of gotchas. I need a bunch of like really petty questions that don't change anybody's mind, but it's difficult for the person to answer intuitively right away, so therefore I can pretend like it's a little victory lap. You gotta have all that stuff in any good 2016 debate.
Okay, yeah, but you do all that debate. I'm just gonna sit here and do it in front of you.
What, like you just like my debating doesn't matter? I don't understand.
I'm just going to eat the food in front of you, like I am.
You can't do that. You haven't won the debate yet. You can't just do things without winning a debate. Pretty sure you can't. Otherwise, why do people debate so much? She's gone silent. That can only mean that she's eating Chipotle this very second.
Actually, I'm gonna save most of this for later because I got myself with the soup.
Are you saving most of it for later because we're gonna have to roll around in it in the bed because that's where it is now? That laugh doesn't bring me comfort. If you were like, is this a reassuring laugh? No, it's not.
No, you've got your art goblin. Yeah, that's yours. I have my own.
What's that? You're like, is that your Harley Quinn laugh?
No, it's not. I think Harley Quinn's a little better.
I do have coffee. No, thank you.
You like flavor?
No, thank you.
In general, you like this flavor?
Honestly, I'm not really wild about the peaches and cream flavor.
No, not either. I don't know. No, I don't like this.
You could give it to the squirrels.
I was gonna give it to someone else, honestly. I don't know. I might just drink it because we have it.
What is Bobby's outfit looking like? Do 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 do.
Thank you for trying to get that right so I don't have to correct you all the time.
Yeah, sure thing.
Even though I do. Yeah. You try though, I like that.
Just imagine how much correction would be required if I didn't try.
I know that.
It'd be so much correction.
Which yeah, we had a whole stop and debate and check on these pockets the other day to make sure it was accurate.
Are these pockets accurate?
There now.
Mm-hmm.
But we had some serious V pocket dilemma going on here.
Yeah,
The world stopped to go look at V's pockets.
I don't know. I wouldn't classify that as a debate. I'd classify that more as like a wellness check, a pockets wellness check situation.
Mamo says the myth that ants outweigh humans is false. Well, no, they're all Mr. Beast chocolate, I swear. There's something in there. It's not normal. That is not normal. I trust Ronald McDonald more than that, man. I'm serious.
At least Ronald McDonald has like Fry Kids.
He's got years of experience under his belt. And then there's Mr. Beast.
I don't know. I don't have
Bobby,
like a.
how is he in the picture? Bobby's not real, remember, Mamo?
I don't have even like a huge reason why I'm like I don't like Mr. Beast, but I don't know. I just the fact that he's like everywhere and like it's the sort of thing when you're like, oh, it's not my cup of tea, but then like it's promoted and pushed in front of your face nonstop and you just can't get away from it. It sort of turns it into like, this is my cup of tea, and I wish somebody would stop like shoving it in front of my glass every time I go to take a sip of something.
I think my problem with it really is the target audience and then the appeal that you should buy this because it comes from a rich guy, a rich, well-known internet guy, and that's the whole reason you should buy the product. That's really weird to me. It's kind of like if you were buying Willy Wonka chocolate, not for the chocolate, but because it is Willy Wonka. But you know, less reliable too. For children. It seems dangerous and scammy to me.
I mean, that's kind of the basis of all celebrity marketing. Is like all celebrity marketing is they are selling you something where the person is famous for being famous, and since they're famous for being famous, don't you want to buy this product that they are offering because it's like associated with famous, you know?
Yeah, but I've heard something where they want kids to buy the product because somebody will get $1,000 in the box.
Oh yeah, I've heard of like some stuff like that. I haven't really kept up with it because I don't care that much, but I've heard.
And you haven't won yet. Of
some things where they were like, you know, selling products to kids. I saw some stream clip where they were like, oh yeah, like kids, make sure you buy this thing. Oh, it's so cool. Get your thing right now. Oh, and in like a certain number of these, we're gonna put like $1,000 in a certain number of these. So don't miss your chance. You know, just this like weird, like hyper sales, high pressure sort of like making some sort of a raffle without calling it a raffle to get around some of the regulations on that sort of thing. And I mean, that's maybe never like super attractive, but when it's explicitly targeting children, that's a little like, why are you doing this?
I think when I was a kid, I probably would have understood that if I spent $5 or $20 on that, and I didn't get the $1,000, I was out $20. I would understand that, but I don't know about kids these days.
Kids these days.
There you go again, yeah. I don't know. It's really funny to me how you have Gorse, which is like a pure cartoon character, and then you got Bobby, who's like a little too mature for the cartoon antics here.
That is kind of one of the facets that I like about the Prelude Orphanage in particular, is it sort of like the spread of characters kind of shows like, here's sort of like the range of Dreamkeepers. We can get stuff that is as silly and cartoony as Gorse and Norp and the Concords, but then we can also have things that are a little bit more like serious, like Bobby, and he's literally like I might be outgrowing this whole scene a little bit.
Yeah, I think Bobby's not growing Prelude. I think he's kind of had enough of this shit.
Like he's still here. He doesn't want to like abandon the kids, but it's like he's also got to think about like his life and moving forward with that. But I like that Dreamkeepers in general is able to have that much of a variance in the sort of like the subject matter and the themes, and it all still kind of feels cohesive, which I'm grateful for. Because that's kind of a risk when you're doing any kind of a franchise, is if you get tonally confused and you try to make it like like if something tries to be everything, it's going to wind up like doing none of it well. So, but I'm really pleased that it seems like we've solidified a really broad range of sort of possibilities with Dreamkeepers that all seem to jive together. They all seem to like flow together well enough. So we can have like these fun cartoony moments, and then we can have like serious existential threats from nightmares and like drama in the graphic novel series and action and all this immersive lore in Ascension, and it all actually plays in the same universe and holds together, which I'm happy about.
I'm just noticing everything about Bobby's design, pose, distance from the characters here is he really looks like he's just tired of this shit.
He is.
Just tired of the gorse. Too much gorse.
Like he's
tired of this shit.
He's a good character. He's got empathy for them. He wants to. He wants things to go as good as they can go, but he's also just like, I'm really tired of all this. Also, after what he went through the last arc, he's got other things on his mind, understandably.
I don't think he wants to be in this arc.
Yet here he is, because they're in the way of the docks back to where he would otherwise be going to sleep. V is doing a little bit more of an active job, like being a referee in in this scenario with the orphans.
She hasn't learned yet. She's still caring. Bobby just doesn't give a fuck.
Well, he gives a fuck, but he's also got like other objectives in his life. It's not that he doesn't care. It's just that this is no longer like the focus of his existence.
I used to tell people in between the books, it's like, oh, the kids need a break. They're asleep right now. They had a time. They need a break while we work on the book.
Yeah, and I think people can probably see even from the layout of this comic that like sometimes this is why even the preludes can take a little bit of time. Most webcomics are going to have like, shots like this lined up where that's like 90% of the entire book, 90% of the entire content. And we've got a few close-ups here because it's good to get like some close-ups, like maybe a shot where there isn't a face, and then pull out, get some establishing shots. But actually pulling out and getting a good establishing shot that has a little bit of perspective and setting and props and like showing all even characters in a crowd where they're not just like all standing, like we are standing in a room and talking to one another and we are together in the same scene. It's like, no, they're physical, they're active, there's overlap, there's different expressions. That sort of stuff to me is what makes a comic more visually fun to look at, to read. And it's and it takes obviously a little more elbow grease to get it put together. You can see like, even though it's like I always think like, oh, it's like a small zoomed out scene, so it won't take too much time. But it's like, no, if there's a bunch of stuff in it, if there's a lot of characters, a lot of props, even if they're small, it's still gonna take a good chunk of time to pull off.
Yeah, I've noticed in other comics, you are lucky if you get a group shot once, and then everything else is talking heads.
Yeah, and I'm not even saying like every page is going to be better if there's a big establishing shot on every page. It's like,
drive me crazy, sir.
Like not every page, because sometimes you actually do want to like take a break and just get some close-ups, get some good negative space in there, let the composition breathe. But variety is the spice of life, and I just think having a lot of cool variety in a comic makes it more fun to read than if it's like all establishing shots or all like medium shots or all close-ups.
I have to say about you, sir. I don't think you play on your word balloons on this. Do you ever play on the word balloons on top of your preludes? How do you work that in?
No, I planned it. Let me see if I actually got the thumbnail over here.
Oh, okay, I can't tell from your blues. It doesn't look like it on that lower panel. So I don't know what your thumbnail or your word balloon plans are.
Actually, here is the thumbnail for this comic.
Ooh, a cord. Look what you brought me.
A cord. But you can see I actually do have like, and this is what I do before I even do blue line sketches. Is the thumbnail will help you figure out like what panels are big, what panels are small, what's the camera angle, where are the close-ups, all that stuff. Where are the word balloons going to be? Originally, early Preludes, I didn't plan the word balloons out as much, and I kept on like basically doing the equivalent of walking into a coffee table in the dark when I was trying to place word balloons. So pretty soon I started realizing, oh, just like sketch in roughly where the word balloons are going to be, and saves you headaches later.
That's what I meant. Is you used to pencil everything and be like, oh, there's a word balloon on top of that. Oh, there's a word balloon on top of that. I didn't have to do that. Yeah, good job. Oh, and then the other one was, this looks really pretty. I don't want to put a word balloon on top.
Yeah.
Nerd.
Which is also, that's another reason why I started doing the blue line sketch layouts for the graphic novels too, is because that way I would literally have the actual word balloons on the art, so I could look and see. It's like, is there a lot of talking, and is this word balloon going to be covering something up? And then if it's being totally covered up, then you don't actually have to draw it because no one's going to see it. So it's just trying to keep things relatively efficient.
Some comics I've seen do the entire picture and then do the word balloons in like a see-through bubble. I think that's really pretty, but like when it's a forest in the back. But other people think that's really messy and distracting and hard to notice. What do you think?
I think, did I actually put how to draw comics the Dreamkeeper's Way video out about this? I know I planned out a topic about this. I don't know if it was in the panels and layout video that's already up, or if it was going to be in the cinematography and framing video that I have planned.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know. This might be up on our YouTube channel, but my opinion is that negative space is one of the most powerful compositional elements that you can use, and word balloons are basically free negative space. So it's a chance to let the eye breathe. It's literally easier to read what's in the word balloon if it's not transparent and weird. So I would encourage people to use word balloons more as compositional negative space and connective elements and different things like that. Whereas if they're transparent, then it sort of undermines their utility in those other tasks.
I think it's really pretty when you have like a forest background behind it, but you run into trouble when you're in like a dark cave and you're like, oh, dark on dark, how do I fix this?
The other thing too is like I think it's a good indicator. It's a good hint if you're doing this beautiful comic and then you're like, oh, these word balloons, I don't want to cover everything up with these word balloons. Like, how can I fix this? That might be a good clue that you might be having too much word balloons in your comic. If you got this beautiful art and the word balloons are just overpowering it, like, pump the brakes a little bit on your scripting and try to figure out, like, is this dialogue really crucial? Is this really adding to the scene? Is it moving the plot forward? Is it, like, helping to characterize the personality of, like, someone that's talking? Is it interesting? Huge, important question is always stop and think, is this interesting? Why is this interesting? What is the reason this would be interesting?
Yeah, I mentioned last stream that we were going through the final chapter of I'm 6, which we haven't drawn yet. We were doing some like last minute script surgery.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to give details, but I noticed there was one area where I was reading this. I'm like, I'm bored. This is not needed at all. And Dave was like, yeah, let's just nix this whole thing.
Oh,
so we did. And we were a lot happier.
That's a great thing to do. Is like once you get something scripted out, let it sit for a while. Give it some time to bake, to take your focus off.
Yes, you don't remember it. Come back fresh.
Yeah, so like just long enough where you can look at it with fresh eyes. And when you look at it with fresh eyes, do stop and think at various points. Like if you find yourself like skimming your own script because it's like, oh, I got to get through this to get to the good part. It's like every part of your script should be the good part. If there's a part that's boring, like actually ask yourself, like, if I just like chopped this whole scene, is the book still legible? What is the scene actually contributing? Do we actually need it? Sometimes you will discover that you do need things in that scene, but you will understand more precisely what it is that scene is necessary for. And sometimes when you understand the point of the scene with more clarity, that will actually help you rewrite it in a more interesting way, because you can bring that ingredient out you can sort of like slice away anything that's cluttering up the point of interest.
Well, yeah, like there's another scene in at the end of I'm Six, and I'm going to be very vague. But I tried to remove a character and opening at the beginning, and Dave was like, "Oh no, we need that in order to focus on this, and then it makes sense at the end." Happy Guy One, I will take a look at it later. I hope it's in the Discord. Which room is it in? Is it in regular, not safe for work, or is it in a different room? Yeah, Dave argued with me about keeping the character in there, and I was like, "Oh, it's under the kink." Okay, yeah, I'll take a look later. Thank you. Um, Dave pointed out the reason we needed that. I was like, "Oh yeah, that is a good point." Okay, so we're keeping it in. I do feel like maybe we could tighten the dialogue, but what we need to do after we did the most obvious surgery is that we take the script and we do another draft where we look at it with all of our changes in like a readable format without notes everywhere, and then we look at that again fresh and hack at it one more time.
Yeah, it's just like a process. I think like usually, especially if the story is like got some like multiple characters, different viewpoints, if there's like a good deal of complexity to it, usually you're not going to necessarily get it perfect on the first hit. Even if you've got an outline that you're working from and you understand like what you're trying to accomplish in the story, it's just likely going to need a little bit of rewriting because I think I've heard some authors say like all writing is rewriting, and that might be an exaggeration, but not by much. Like really, the first draft, the brainstorm, that's what stops so many people from getting a story out. Is like looking at a blank screen or a blank piece of paper. It's actually kind of intimidating. It's like, oh, like what do I even write in here? I don't want to write something bad. But if you want to be a writer, you have to come to peace with the fact that you are going to write bad stuff, and that's fine because it's only a draft. So, granted, I still would preach the power of outlining and understanding basic story principles and like know what you're doing, know what your story is supposed to be about, think through all of these things. But there is a point where it's like you gotta just like plot out the outline for the first few scenes and then start writing it. And then it might not be pretty, it might not be perfect, but if you just get something on paper, then you can look at it in a week or two when you have fresh eyes, and boom, if you see all sorts of, oh, this is wrong and that's wrong and this is wrong, congratulations. Now you are in the rewriting stage and the revising stage, and this is where you can take something that might have started as hot crap and turn it into gold. And you just identify the stuff that's weak, you cut what needs to be cut, and you identify the things that are actually the points that are interesting. And if you cut, the beautiful thing about rewriting is if you cut all of the weak stuff out, usually, like a lot of authors think, no, I wrote that. I don't want that to be a waste. I don't want to cut away what I've written. But if you cut away the weak stuff, it's going to make the good, entertaining things actually accessible and visible. Because if you want to think about it, it's like there's some stuff there. If you're doing your job right, there's some stuff there that's really interesting and entertaining. But if you have a bunch of fluff around it, then it's going to distract and clutter, and people will look into that room and they won't be able to see the interesting thing because there's so many other things that are just in the way. So
Yeah.
it's beautiful when you can actually start trimming things away. It's like chiseling a marble sculpture. You take away the things that don't belong, and then the form emerges.
Now, the thing you might not know is that we actually like two different kinds of paper around here. What you see is Dave's good drawing paper that he likes. He's very picky about his paper. He's terrible.
Well, I mean, it's just regular printer paper, but
No, it's not. No, it's not. Well, you need you demand a special brightness and thickness for your printer paper.
well, I do prefer like 22 to 24 pound and 96 to 98 brightness at least, because
I know, that's you. But however, what I mean is then we have the second crap paper, which is just regular bad printer paper, and then that's what we print drafts on. So whenever we have a script, we print out the script, and then we hack at it with pens and pencils on the draft, and then we type it up our notes on the computer again as another file. So everything is basically saved through the process, so we can go back and we don't like, oh, what was that? We missed something, bring it back in.
yeah, that's
We
another,
save everything.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's another really good point. Is like the earlier drafts, I make sure like when I revise the drafts in our Word document and print it out, I save them under like draft 2, draft 3, draft 2.8, whatever it happens to be, whatever we're doing that's goofy that day. But that way, like, that's the other nice thing about revising is if you're like, you know what, I never should have cut that stuff out. It was so good. It's like, all right, just go copy paste, bam, slam it back in there. And all of this stuff is the best time to do it is before you start drawing. The best time to revise your story is when it's just a script, because the earlier you can actually like get your story shaped up, then the less labor you put into forms that are actually unnecessary.
You don't want to get like an entire chapter drawn and colored of your book and then be like, oh, I'm not happy with this.
Yeah, you don't want to. That would be like the most inefficient way. Would be like, well, now that I've like worked for years on like hundreds of pages of full color artwork, actually, I think it should go something a little different. That's the. I mean, I guess if you have to, but it's really you want to do as much editing as possible in the scripting stage.
Declared that they're gonna redo their comic from the beginning. I have never seen anyone do that successfully. Yeah, actually, I've seen someone get pretty far on the reboot, but I've never seen them do it again and finish it well. They tucker out. They get tired.
I think a lot of times too, like that might be driven more by, like we talked about this a little bit, because it seems to be part of like a standard life cycle of some webcomic authors where they will be doing a webcomic and then after a certain point in time they're like, you know what, I'm not going to continue my comic, I'm going to start and I'm going to redo it. I'm going to redo it from the beginning. I'm going to reboot it. And this time it's going to do what I want. And I get the impression that, I want to get a reference for Corinne's little skeleton makeup here.
Yes.
I like that he went as a skeleton. I always thought a skeleton was a cool costume as a kid.
I checked the original notes, which I can't believe we had those, but apparently Nerp was originally going to be like an emo vampire.
Yeah, I think that was like the initial brainstorm was like he was like an emo goth kind of a character,
yeah.
And he wound up being something totally different, of course.
We didn't have anything for Kryn based on the notes, so I'm glad we moved that over because I think that wouldn't have read on Nerp well. Nerp would have had to have like serious, like eye spots under him on his eyes or something, and that wasn't gonna read.
Yeah.
So I think the idea was that V was a wizard, then Nerp was like a dragon to try to like be with her a little bit.
Well, I think the idea initially was that, and I don't know if this is even going to make it into the story because it doesn't really matter that much, but that it was going to be like a fantasy group setting, like like wizard, dragon, bandit, rogue, barbarian, and then Gorse is like, yeah, and I'll be Dash from Cheer to Fortress, and it's like, that doesn't really fit the theme. Could you not? He's like, this is my favorite costume. Trust me, Dash from True to Fortress. That's what I'm gonna be. And then Narp was like, well, I'm gonna be a dragon like I'm supposed to. And Mace is like, well, I don't want to be. I want to be a ninja. Ninjas are cool. And it's like ninja doesn't work. And then at that point, it's just chaos. And really, only Narp and V kind of stuck to the theme, and everybody else just did their own thing.
So that's apparently the part of the story we didn't feel like doing or didn't think much about.
Yeah. But touching back briefly on webcomic author psychology, because I thought I had like a bit of a thought on that. I think that a lot of times when webcomic authors stop their story and they're like, all right, I'm just gonna like redo this, reboot, starting from the beginning, and then they usually never actually reboot it. They'll maybe get a few pages in, but then they just stop, and it's like that's the end. Then they just turn into video game players forever.
Well, I'm not gonna say who this was, but this was a long time ago. You know who this is right away. They were doing their entire webcomic with like CG models from Poser, I think. You know that one. And then something happened when they were close to the end of their story, where there was something got deleted and they lost all of their models and they couldn't draw. And so what they had to do is pay an artist to finish their story in traditional art style. And frankly, I think it looked a lot better. And they kind of realized that by the end, and they're like, wow, maybe I'm going to go and redo my entire series that took like 10, 20 years to do, maybe, in traditional now, paying another artist. And then it just like got tired and petered out in the middle. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I have some. I heard part of the reason he did that was because he got distracted on a movie, an animated movie that didn't do well, and then he just kind of, I don't know, got tired of what he was doing. He left his comic for too long.
Yeah. I think that in general, when creators try to reboot or start their comic over from scratch, a lot of that is I could be, maybe I'm just armchair or psychoanalyzing too much, but I think partially it's not really because of anything to do with their comic or work, because usually if they had like a specific idea, like, oh, now that I'm a little better at story, I can recognize this one particular plot thread, and if I would have done it slightly different, it would have had a lot more impact, so I'll just go back and tweak. It's not like there's a specific thing about their work that they understand they wish to change. It seems like it's more generalized, I guess, neuroticism or anxiety about, and I don't even think it's about their work. I think ultimately their work is a means to an end for them. They want their comic to achieve a certain level of success or, popularity or internet acclaim or whatever. And after they've been doing it for like X amount of time, which is why I think it always happens on like almost a similar time frame. It's like there's a civilizational cycle to webcomic authors. If they're hoping
Third
for
book?
their, yeah, like usually it's around the third book or maybe like between 1 and 2 decades in, when it's not when it's not getting the results that they really want, that they really care about, whether that's like audience or sales or internet presence or clout or whatever, when their art is not doing what they want it to do, that's when they're like, well, this thing isn't working. Something's wrong with it. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. Let me try again. Let me change some things about it. If I just change some things about it, maybe then it will start doing what I want it to do. But their focus, I think, generally, is on the result that they want their art to do. For them, the creation is just a means to an end. Like, I don't think they actually fundamentally love what they are making enough to just continue making it regardless of whether or not it performs. They just want they just want the result. They want the popularity or the money.
You know what, Dave? Maybe that's what it looks like on the outside, but actually thinking more, because I do know some of these people we're thinking of. I think actually what happens is when they start out, it's not like that. But then I think they have outside people kind of telling them it's not the best, and they believe it, because I've seen that too. And they start listening to somebody kind of getting a worm in their ear, being like, oh, this could be better, and this could be better, and this could be better. What if it's different? And they believe that because their insecurity comes in.
Oh yeah, that's always
that's a big one.
That's always a threat, and maybe it is the same issue actually. But if there's an author that has a little bit of insecurity about their work, that weakness will always be smelled by someone that wants to have control. So someone that wants to have control will come in, and if there's an author that's insecure or a little like uncertain about like, oh, I don't know if I'm that good, they've got some insecurity, the parasite will sniff that out and immediately be like, oh, so you're if I neg you, if I dump on you, if I just insult you a little bit and tell you, oh yeah, this isn't very good, oh yeah, you suck, oh here's the reasons it's bad, actually, let me make a case for why I understand why it's bad. You feel negative? You should, and I'll explain to you why you should feel negative. And guess what the solution is going to be? Can you guess what the solution is going to be? The solution is going to be me fixing your story for you. The solution is going to be me in charge. I'll definitely be able to make it good. Because if I can neg you and make you feel insecure and make you feel like your stuff is bad, well then obviously I am the one that knows what is good and bad. So you should just surrender that steering wheel to me.
And then you know what it is? First, it's like, well, we can fix your story in the future. And it's like, wait a minute, no. Let's go back and redo your whole story and put my name on it.
Usually after these types get control, there's like a very fixed time limit where they'll even like make gestures about like wanting to work on anything. Once they get control, it's like the motivation for them to put work into the story will like just evaporate within a year, and then they'll just be a dead weight on it usually.
And the reason we talk about this is, first of all, we've seen it happen to a lot of people. We've seen it happen to friends who work on comics, but we've also had people try to do that to us a lot.
Yeah, sure.
To the point where we can smell that a mile away before it comes all the way in. It's actually funny. It happens so often.
Yeah, and that's not to say that it's like if you're a creator, never listen to any critique at all. No, everyone's wrong. You're always right. It's like no, it's good information to have sometimes, right? Sometimes it's just people that are wrong. Sometimes it's people that are right. The way I think of it is, you are trying to hit a target. You're trying to get a specific sort of like impact with your art. You're trying to deliver a creative idea to the mind of another person. And if you hear in feedback, you're aiming for a target, right? Like an arrow aiming for a target. So if you are missing, if you are not achieving your intended creative result, and someone can explain to you, oh, here's why that arrow veered off to the right. If you changed the way you're doing this, then you would hit your target better. There you go. That's useful information. That can help you hit your target better. But a lot of these types will come in and they'll be like, no, 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 no. You should actually be aiming for something different. I'll tell you what you should be aiming for.
Well, it's more than that. It's not just that. It's when they just start attacking, like this is wrong and this is wrong and this is wrong and this is wrong and this is what you did wrong, and they don't have a way to improve it. They don't have like, here's what you should do. They're just like, this is wrong, this is wrong.
Oh no, they always do have a way to improve it, but it is contingent upon listening to them because they are the ones that will know how to improve it. And we have drawn a prelude. Now
yeah, I thought you were ahead of schedule.
I've got a little ascension to draw. I've got it blued in advance and everything.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay. You got 20 minutes. You're not just going to stop and reward yourself with food today?
Well, maybe I'll drink a little coffee.
All right. So, as you can tell, he actually planned ahead and did his blues ahead of time, so he has something you can actually see. Because we learned. We should just have an April Fool's stream where you just draw nothing for an hour. You just act like you're drawing on the paper, and there's actually nothing there.
How would that
And then
work?
at the end, we're like, April Fools. No, I know you would have to draw. You couldn't help yourself. But you know, the whole joke of the stream is that we just watched you do absolutely nothing for 2 hours.
That doesn't sound like a fun stream.
You'd hate it. You couldn't do it because you'd have to get work done.
Yeah. But I think if anyone is out there and you're an artist and you're like, how do I avoid... how do I know when someone is just being like negative trying to get control versus how do I know when something is legitimate feedback? And the short, simple answer is you just have to develop your own judgment. And then if you develop your own judgment adequately, that's really just going to be what you have to do in the long run because you're the only one that can judge properly. Is this feedback helpful? Or is it not helpful? Is it helping you potentially make a better product, or is it just not helpful at all? And it's just this guy trying to tear you down so that he can get in and feel relevant for himself. So learn whatever the point that you're insecure about that you might be like, I don't know if this is good or not. The first step that I would do is don't read a couple of books on the topic. If you're worried about like story and like is this story good enough. I've always got 3 books that I recommend. And the reason...
again?
Yeah, of course. Always. Until I get like a better...
You're going to make me type those up every time. I hate this.
I'm not going to make you type
Copy
anything.
paste it now. Yeah. Just go.
And the reason I recommend 3 is because I've read a lot more than 3, obviously. But usually if someone's like, well, where do I start? I don't really... How do I start learning about all this like story stuff? If you give them like 3, that's like a manageable number. And 3 good books will put you light years ahead of most artists. Because that is the thing is, right...
Yeah, we've noticed that.
Artists that can draw well, it's like they can usually be pretty... I mean, everyone can be neurotic without a rational reason, but most of them can look at what they draw and be like, oh no, I can see that I'm drawing this and I can see that it looks good. But story, it's hard to look at a script and just visually ascertain, oh, is this a good script or not? It actually takes
especially when you're alone. If you don't have a second person to come in and be like, I don't think this is gonna work.
Yeah.
Then it is everything you do is gold because it came out of your head and you liked it.
So for that,
a risk.
Well, that's the thing. It's like everything is gold or everything is crap. It's much more difficult to glance at a script and know if it's good or bad. So some people will.
And part of it's your mood.
Yeah,
it's your mood too at the time.
Yeah, some people might think everything they do is great. A lot of artists actually a lot of people in general seem to just believe, hey, sometimes when I read a story, I don't like it. Sometimes when I watch a movie, I don't like it. Therefore, I know it's good and bad, and I am a great writer. Like, it's kind of like if you watch an NBA game and one basketball player just can't sink a basket to save his life. Like, you wouldn't sit there and be like, well, I'm better at basketball than him because I can see that he is missing. I must be great at the NBA. Man, if I can tell this guy is missing, I would be incredible out there. It's like, for 99.9% of us, no, you would not be incredible out there. So being able to critique and tear something down is definitely not an indicator that someone can do something properly. And a lot of artists might be insecure about if they can tell a good story, but I think more artists just have inappropriate confidence that they know how to write a story and they know how to put things together, when really it's like, no, why would you assume that you can do this? You don't even know like what basic story structure is, you know?
You know, honestly, part of it too is when you see a really thick book, you can't instantly decide, is this good or bad story? You have to sit down and read it for a very long time and then try to figure out if it's a good story and get lost in it for a little bit.
Yeah.
What are you comparing it to? And
of course, some people love to like just argue forever about like, well, I read this book once, so I know what is a good story and what is not. And if someone's doing that, they're already someone you should be very cautious about listening to, because they've learned about like maybe one or two tool sets when it comes to telling stories, and now they think that they've confused the map for the terrain. And like, that's all these different writing outlines and techniques and guidelines, like they really should be viewed as different tools. Sometimes a tool is going to help you get the right result. Sometimes the tool just isn't really appropriate, because stories, there's a lot of subjectivity to it. I'm sorry, there's a lot of range over what makes a good story and a bad one. They're individual creatures. So
Can you stop and talk about that Family Guy moment with Brian in the writers' room? That was just incredible.
I don't even know what episode this is from, but there's one Family Guy joke that stuck with me, which is Brian the dog. You know, he thinks that he's a great writer. That's the thing, is he's always like writing his novel or whatever. And at some point in some episode, he gets hired into the writing room in Hollywood. And so there's a bunch of these Hollywood writers
a sitcom comedy show.
Yeah, like a comedy show. And these writers are sitting around brainstorming about a comedy show. It's like, oh, this guy does this, and then like his niece realizes there's that, and like, oh yeah, that's some good stuff. So they're just there like riffing about ideas and possible directions and the episode could go. And then Brian just like slams his hand on the table. He's like, oh, I can't believe what I'm hearing here. Doesn't anyone know about the Twistusions? And everyone in the writers' room just like turns and looks at him like, He's like, Twistusions! Oh my god, I can't believe you guys don't know about Twistusions. Am I the only one here that knows anything? And so it's like, well, what are Twistusions? He's like, stakes, twist, conclusions. I can't believe I'm working with a bunch of hacks. And he just like throws his stuff and, you know, storms out of the room. And I'm sorry, but I have seen that exact sort of formula play out with so many people that they'll like read a book about writing, and then if they don't recognize those exact formulaic tools being used every time they look at a piece of fiction, they will throw their Cheerios out because they think, oh, it's wrong. It's not using those tools. It's wrong. And it's like, sometimes a piece of work could really be lacking, and it might be those exact tools or those exact ingredients that would really fix it up and bring it to life. But not every tool is for every job, but they don't know that because they have landed themselves smack dab in the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Okay, all right. What if someone dares to use the wrong tools for the worst story on purpose?
I don't know, like, that's why entertainment is a funny thing, because the end result is
you can break it.
Subjective.
You can break it.
You can do something that is objectively bad. This is objectively terrible. And you know what? It might be really, really entertaining for reasons that the author didn't intend sometimes. That's where something can be, you know, so bad, the phrase, oh, it's so bad, it comes back around to being good again. Because at that point, it's almost providing, like, an unintentional portrait of the people creating it, and it might be, like, really charming and endearing in some respects. Or just, like, flat-out funny, that it's like, oh, this thing is so stupid, haha, we're gonna laugh at this piece of work because it's at the expense of the creator. But if it's... I think probably the most famous example of that would be Tommy Wiseau's The Room. I
was gonna say, I haven't seen that. We really should watch it. Everyone compares, that one.
I'm even using it as like an example, and I've never seen it, so it'd be fun to watch sometime. But you know, even the fact that I'm here like, oh, I gotta see that movie sometime. It's like no one's like, yeah, I gotta see that movie because it is so objectively well crafted. They're like, oh, I gotta see that movie because it is such a joke unto itself. But that means if it's trying to be entertaining, and if people are like, oh yeah, we got to see that because it's going to be so entertaining, then it's achieving success as entertainment. Not in the traditional method, but that's why the story stuff is so tricky, because usually like 90% of the time you want to follow the rules, you want to use the tools, you want to use these like sort of like guidelines, and you'll get like a solid functional working story. But if that's all you have, if all you're doing is checking boxes and following rules, you might get what a lot of the stuff that comes out of Hollywood feels like these days. Like, it might feel okay, like the sort of rhythm of a story is kind of in there, but it just feels hollow, and it, you know, like there's not a soul inside of it, because there's not.
It's gonna get weird. It's right behind me, isn't it? Yeah. Well,
Oh yeah, the millennial writing is just another pet peeve of mine.
I know you. So, I mean, you belong in the 80s. Just stay there.
There's some good stuff in the 80s.
It's safe in the 80s. Okay.
But I've been yammering about like, oh, you should learn how to write, and so if anybody was like, well, what are the books you recommend, jackass? Well, you keep on telling me like what not to do. So the 3 books that I would recommend is like, definitely if you're interested in writing any story, because 3 books is going to take like what, a week for you to read. It's going to way faster than going to college to learn how to write, which if you go to college, it's going to be years, who knows how many tens of thousands of dollars. You're also going to have to filter out a lot of bullshit from a lot of professors that are totally incompetent. So I just recommend reading books on the topic, and 3 of them, you can get tons of information in a very short period of time. So I would say The Fantasy Fiction Formula by Deborah Chester is a great one. She's the instructor actually that taught Jim Butcher, who made the Dresden Files with Harry Dresden.
Dresden Files and the Codex Alera? Is that the other one?
Yeah, the Codex Alera, or the Alera Codex, I forget.
Yeah.
Also the Aeronaut's Windlass, which I haven't checked out yet, but you know, I like Butcher's other stuff. But anyways, The Fantasy Fiction Formula, that's a good one. Invisible Ink by Brian McDonald, very concise, very insightful book. And Wired for Story by Lisa Cron. Those are the 3 books that I would recommend for someone that just wants a crash course on like, oh, what is storycraft? What is this writing stuff all about? And that will put you on some pretty solid ground, and you can start sort of figuring out like, what do I think is good and bad about a certain script or story, and why is that? And obviously there's tons of other resources out there, but those are just out of the, I don't know, maybe a couple dozen books that I've read, those are the ones that seem to me like really immediately tangibly useful and good at explaining things and not trying to make it seem too mystical or complicated or, you know, convoluted.
Yeah, I will say back to our earlier topic, when somebody comes in and try to write Kanzu's story, if you say no thank you, the best phrase, I've heard this so many times, it's like a parrot. They're like, can't take critique. They scream, can't take critique, no matter what happened there. Which, I mean, you know, part of it's like, you think, is it true I can't take critique? But after a while it's kind of like, I see what you're doing.
Well, the other thing too is like, if you actually work on your story a lot and try to like improve it, then the thing is, you're going to be critiquing your own stuff harder than anyone else externally could ever even hope to critique it. So like at that point, it's like, no, like I know for us, like we definitely can take critique, because that's what our entire process is made from. It's like relentless, very high standard criticism of like, what are we doing, what's working, what's not working. And the fact is, like, once you actually understand these things, then you don't really have to be worried about like, oh, what if someone says I can't take critique? What if someone says that my story is good or bad? Oh no. It's like, you don't have to worry about what people say, because you can perceive the thing itself. You can perceive the reality of it. And other people's opinions are no longer really that relevant, especially if they're coming from, you know, a bad place where they're just kind of seeking to address some of their own emotional shortcomings using your work as a prop.
You know, what that kind of turns into is, I didn't get the attention I wanted and I'm mad. I feel invalidated.
Oh yeah, like there are like most people are not like this, but if you're working in the creative field, you will run into narcissistic type people where everything it can be filtered down to, are they getting the control that they want? And if they're not,
That seems
then everything you do is bad and dumb and terrible. And if they are getting the control that they want, then you are only good insofar as you recognize that they should get their way all the time.
Yeah, we've seen like over 6 of them come in here. It's nutty.
Yeah, I don't know, but once you can recognize it, it's nothing to be afraid of. It's just sort of like, oh, just it's like any kind of a creature where parasites might cluster on the outside of it. It's just be aware of it. Don't put weaknesses out there for them to latch onto, and eventually they can just be a remora at a safe distance, and they might scavenge parts and pieces, but that's fine.
It builds your personality to learn how to adjust to that and keep trucking too. You grow stronger every time you deal with that kind of thing. And they know that after a while too, and they don't come by as often because they know they're not going to get their way.
Or they'll like A/B different types of attacks. They're like, well, they seem like they're pretty happy with what they're doing, but maybe we can. What if we call them Nazis really loud in public? What if maybe we can neg them hard enough to get control of what they're doing in that way? And I don't know, especially if you say no to someone and they feel insecure because of it. If they are a malignant narcissistic type, then there's gonna be shenanigans, and you just gotta realize that you got better stuff to worry about, and you don't really need to feed into it or care about it. And anyone that is dumb enough to actually listen to that sort of stuff, it's like, then they're probably not smart enough to stick around and be fans. I'm sorry. There are some standards. I don't like to impose a lot of standards on people, but if they're gonna believe just loopy, crazy shit from jealous narcs, then okay, sorry, I can't. There's nothing I can do for you guys. I guess enjoy the content that you enjoy, because that's not the type of... We don't really make the drama content so much. We're actually making entertainment, and it's a...
You draw drama.
Yeah, I like fictional, make-believe drama. I don't like the real stuff, not so much.
No. Anyway, if you want to tell a story, make sure you know what kind of story and what the message of your story is from the start. Don't lose sight of that, and absolutely don't let the audience dictate what happens along the way. Yeah, exactly. Now, the thing about webcomics is that people don't realize how much work goes into it, which is why a good thing to do is just try, just do a couple pages and get a buffer on the side to see if you like the rhythm of working. I heard that, back in the day, there used to be the daily comics that appeared in the newspaper.
Yeah. And
from what I heard, the publisher or syndicator, whatever it is, would make the artist, produce, is it 6 months of work? Just in the rhythm all the time to make sure they could actually do it, because you don't want to bring in, you don't want a creator who just peters out and misses deadlines.
Yeah, I think the syndicates would get I don't know from experience, but I've heard that the syndicates new cartoonists back in the newspaper syndication days, they would, exactly like you said, they'd be like, all right, we like your work. We're going to put you on a probationary thing, though, and we're not going to... So you're going to be giving us daily comics for 6 months. And then if you hold up and if you actually do that, then we'll actually start trying to get your stuff into newspapers. But until then, we're not going to put you in newspapers because these syndicates
you gotta
probably
prove
had...
yourself.
Yeah, they probably have plenty of experience with cartoonists that might send a really nice-looking portfolio around, and then it's like, yeah, we're hired. Here we go. Now we have sold this to newspapers, and you have to produce it on a regular basis. And then they realize, oh, no, this person had a really nice portfolio, but it took them 37 years to make this portfolio, and they can't produce stuff within this time frame.
Exactly. Because the other thing about the comic, in that case, comic buffer, and this applies to us too, by the way, is if you're providing comics every week or every day or whatever it is, and then we get sick or go on vacation, the comic will stop if you don't have the buffer. Or if there's an unplanned event, you have to go to a wedding. But if you can keep your comic, that's a lot better than, I gotta take a month off. So that's why you want your buffer. And then with the syndicate comics, you never miss the flow of everything.
And I would say, obviously, webcomic artists, you don't have to worry about a syndicate approving your work or not, but I'm gonna have a do as I say, not as I do. But it's probably
What did you do?
it's probably not a bad idea before you embark on like a really big, involved, like insane graphic novel series project. Try doing like a 10-page comic that's just self-contained. Like just be like, I'm gonna do, 5-page comic, 10-page comic, something that is doable, or you can scale it to like, oh, I want to do a project that will last me for 2 months, 2 months of work. So try doing something that you think will take 2 months to complete, and then it's like a totally finished. And the thing is, that'll give you experience at every stage of production, and it'll also sort of indicate like, well, here's how much work it actually does take, so now you have a little taste of it, and you can more realistically figure out what do you want to do. Obviously, I didn't do that. I just, well, I guess maybe in a way I kind of did, because I made more smaller comics when I was like a kid, when I was like 12 years old, middle school, high school. I did a comic series and stuff.
Yeah, wait a minute. You were doing comic panel pages for me in college for fun, and you had your whatever it is, black and white tech war comics. So
Yeah, that's true. So I guess I did kind of follow that advice, because even the little like romantic comic I made for you about me being like a cringe lord and beating up muggers that were attacking a milady, that was a that was a little self-contained comic project. So I guess
disturbingly hot.
So I guess I did actually give myself experience doing smaller self-contained projects. But I guess my point is, if you're an artist and you've never done any projects like that, like if you're just totally new to like putting comic pages together, before you dedicate yourself to something that's going to be like a lifetime of work, do something that's like 2 months of work, like from top to bottom, self-contained story, and see how that treats you, and they'll just give you good information about what the work process is like and how you like it.
Oh, okay. You know what? We're here over time, and you've earned some lunch. I gotta feed the animal.
I was hungry for sushi.
I don't know. I got your fish. Got feed it fish.
Well,
However, I do want to share this story with you. Firu says this. The outside says urban legend, but Spider-Man comics, the only reason Gwen Stacy died was because Stan Lee went on vacation. The guy left in charge made that decision.
Ooh, I never heard that. That's funny.
I don't even know.
Stan Lee came back. He's like, "No, my waifu, you bastard!"
Well, in Spider-Man, I'm sure we could just bring her back later, and there's some crazy story twist to some comics.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they have.
The twin Gwen Stacy. That was a fake Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, there's been Spider-Man clones, and I will say, like, the ongoing Marvel universe, I find to be a very good cautionary tale about the value of actually outlining your story and having an ending to your story in mind before you just make stuff forever.
Yeah. All right. What are you drawing here? And you gotta get your fish. It's fish time.
Well, I am drawing some settings and lore for the Margate district in the upcoming Dreamkeeper's Ascension roleplay game. Because we have a whole lot of lore about the different districts in Andoruna, and there's obviously way more locations in the dream world. But there's going to be some text, obviously, some pages of text, but I want to just like sprinkle some drawings in to make it a little more fun, make it a little easier on the eyes, and also sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words. So I think just a few small key sketches for each district, and that can go in with all the other creatures and powers and props and tools and things that we're making for the Ascension roleplay book. Because it is going to be fun. But for now...
We need to know... Okay, you're done. We need to know if there's going to be food in the lore book.
Yeah, there's going to be food. It's going to go into some of the different crops that Andoruna produces, and how that crops herding, how that relates to like their agriculture and feeding themselves. And I think there's even a city in the Margate district that's known as like the culinary capital of Andoruna, at least until the Sabaton Towers came and sort of dominated everything.
Ratatouille Town.
Yeah, basically Ratatouille Town, and it's because it's a harbor town, and Margate has access to all of the different like goods from every single coastline port of Andoruna. It's got a good central location, so there's just a lot of stuff in there, and a lot of things kind of like marketplace related things sort of take off in Andoruna, or Margate, I should say.
Run by rats. Don't call it Ratatouille Town.
Well, I don't know if we're going to draw whoever's running the schools there, but maybe it might be run by rats. You don't know.
Oh no, don't do. I was joking. All right, can't wait for the Talican drawings.
Yeah, actually, that's
You guys.
that's the next
Is that
district
next?
on my list. Yeah, Talakan.
All right. I've noticed with your drawings of the landscapes, you're not filling it with people though. It's mostly the buildings. So.
It's mostly buildings because they're mostly about the settings, but this one I do have this one guy. There's a fisherman walking across this little rickety bridge. So there's occasionally people, but not
Okay,
right
hold
now.
on.
Now I'm gonna eat fish. So thank you everyone
I
for
know you
watching.
are.
This has been another drawing stream, and hope you're surviving the winter nice and cozy and safe, and we'll stream again on Friday. So stream
Hold on.
ends in 5, 4, 3, 2.